right. Welcome back, Draft Junkies, to the Draft Podcast, part of the Gem City Sports Network, your trusted source for all things NFL Draft, where we blend tape, traits, and just the right amount of trash talk. I'm your host, Paul Adamczak, and folks, we are 1 week away, 7 days from the final mock draft special. Guests are booked, takes are loaded, and the big boards are ready to catch fire. But before we light that candle, this week's show is the penultimate pit stop, a chance to focus in on value. Today's episode is all about the day 3 dudes, the round 4 through 7 risers, the guys who won't hear their names on Thursday night, but will make rosters, earn snaps, and win fans over. Opening tonight with offensive sleepers, my favorite late round targets on that side of the ball. You want depth, you want developmental upside. If you're a GM, you're writing these names down, or at least you should, Chris Greer. Then we flip to the defensive sleepers, where I'm highlighting some disruptive defensive linemen, some twitchy backers, physical corner who just needs the right scheme to shine. These guys won't headline the draft, but they'll headline your group chats come preseason. And finally, because I know some of you like to mix a little business with pleasure, we close the show with a segment I'm calling Best Bets. I scoured the sports books, the draft props, and the Reddit threads to find the easiest money on the board for this year's draft. From juicy prop bets to sneaky player props, these are the wagers that'll have you buying the first round at your draft after party. Trust me, your wallet's going to thank me. So whether you're building a board, betting a future, or just begging your team not to screw up the third round again, this episode's for you. Oh, and before we dive in, next week we're going all out with our final mock draft special, packed with a roster of special guests who will bring chaos, hot takes, and maybe a few arguments. It's going to be a draft nerd's dream, so don't miss it. We're keeping it tight today, about 30 minutes of pure draft fire, so buckle up. I'm starting with my offensive sleepers. Once again, 4th through 7th round. Everybody's talking first round picks, second round picks. Does he fall here? Maybe he's a third round guy. The quarterback is going to make it out of the second round. He's going to get it to day 2. No. I'm talking about Saturday afternoon. You went to church in the morning. Maybe you did some outside, some yard work or whatnot. Draft starts at noon. Let's come in. Let's get comfy on the couch. These are the names that we want to hear on Saturday. And we're going to start off with one of my favorite prospects in the whole draft. Can't believe he's going to make it this far, but I think he will. Jonas Savaiinaea, the offensive lineman from Arizona. He's listed as a tackle. I have him as an OL because he has 4 position flexibility. Why is he a sleeper? Savaiinaea's versatility, experience at left tackle, right guard, and his combine performance, he ran 4.95 in the 40-yard dash, which was 3rd best among offensive linemen, make him a day 3 gem. PFF pass blocking grade of 82.1 in 2024 shows that he can hold up in pass-heavy schemes. Guy looked great in the Senior Bowl on the right side of the offensive line. He's going to provide teams with immediate value. Teams that need depth or plug-and-play linemen could use Savaiinaea as a swing tackle or a guard. I love his size, 6'4", 324 pounds. He's on the right side of that 3 number. And the athleticism allow him to compete for a starting role or provide at least quality depth in year 1. If you're a fan of a team that tends to lose offensive linemen like crazy, like I am, the team behind me, he's a guy that I want on my roster because he's very, very likely going to push for some playing time in year 1. Here's the bottom line on Savaiinaea. The Senior Bowl, the combine performance, and the positional flexibility make him a favorite for teams prioritizing offensive line depth. He's a low-risk pick with starter upside. All right? There's my first sleeper, offensive sleeper, day 3 guy. Guy number 2, I think I've got 4. I've got 3 for each side of the ball, and then I've got a my guy also on each side of the ball. So there's number 1. Number 2, talked about him already. 5th, 6th round project. Got to talk about him again. I'm talking Savion Williams, wide receiver out of TCU. Why is he a sleeper? Well, jack of all trades, master of none. Played Wildcat quarterback, running back, wide receiver in his time as a Horned Frog. 6'5", 215 pounds. He is a physical mismatch with above average athleticism and strong hands. While the production was inconsistent at TCU, He definitely showed flashes, especially in contested catch situations, which is key. That shows a player who can become a dangerous red zone and boundary threat at the next level. He has immediate value. He could definitely thrive as a wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 early, particularly in offenses needing a size speed combo on the outside. Also, teams lacking in a big bodied receiver could carve out an early usage package, especially near the goal line. Guys who catch well, big body against a smaller cornerback, you love those mismatches, especially when in tight quarters. So here's the bottom line. Think poor man's T. Higgins. If he lands with a creative offensive coordinator, Williams could be the day 3 receiver everyone wishes they had drafted earlier. So there's number 2. Number 3, and I'm going with an offensive lineman here. Not a whole lot of centers in this draft. So this is why Jake Majors is one of my sleepers. He's one of the only guys who's going to come in and can actually, like, who has experience snapping. There's a lot of tweeners, guys who can play center who were guards, or guys who can play center who move all the way in from tackle. He's a projected 5th-round pick. Why is he a sleeper? 3-year starter at Texas. One of the more intelligent centers in this class. Calls protections like a pro. You don't see mental errors on film. Has enough athleticism, isn't great in space, but enough athleticism to handle either zone or gap schemes. So again, versatility scheme-wise. He does have immediate value. He won't wow in workouts, but Majors is a steady plug-and-play as a backup center who could start due to injury or poor play. And I'd say he has great value for a team with a shaky interior offensive line. Okay, so here's my bottom line. In a class lacking true centers after the first 3 rounds, Majors has a clear path to being one of the best day 3 linemen to make an early impact. Again, 3-year starter in the SEC at Texas. People texting me right now. They must just love the pick. Day 3 lineman, early impact. Backup center probably to start things off, but he's an NFL caliber offensive lineman. So there's my 3 on the offensive side. Now here's my guy, okay? The sleeper, day 3 pick. You ready for this one? Haven't talked about him yet. Torrey Horton, wide receiver, Colorado State. Write it down. Why is he my guy? 6'3", 185 pounds. And this dude just gets open. It's not flashy, but it's surgical. He is one of the best pure route runners in this class, and he's done it without the luxury of elite quarterback play. Once again, Colorado State, consistently able to find soft spots in zone coverage and separated well in man coverage. Also return punts, so that's bonus versatility. You like guys at that, wide receiver 3, 4, 5 area. You want them to be able to do more than one thing. So special teams value is huge, especially on day 3. What do I see in this guy? His high floor, probably a wide receiver 3, maybe wide receiver 2 in a timing-based offense. If you give him a rhythm passing system and let him work the intermediate routes, he's going to eat, I promise you. Draft comp, and I'm not great at these, but I feel like he's a quicker Jacoby Myers coming out. Underrated hands, very nuanced footwork, day 1 readiness. This guy's played a lot of football. Like I said, just kind of knows how to find space. So this is my guy. I'm going to put a stamp on it. If you're a team looking for chain movers and instant reliability in the slot or at the Z position, Torrey Horton is your dude. Don't overthink it. This is one of the best separators in a class loaded with wide receivers. All right. So we've uncovered some offensive gems who will be stealing the show on day 3. Now it's time to flip the script. Let's talk defensive sleepers. Once again, the 4th to 7th round wrecking balls ready to make quarterbacks regret stepping on the field. First guy, let's go with a linebacker. Teddy Buchanan, linebacker out of Cal. Most places have him projected 5th to 6th round. Why is he a sleeper? Well, he brings the juice. Posted a 4.57 in the 40, and his tape shows range and urgency. He's not just fast. He reads keys quickly and takes excellent angles. Led Cal in tackles last year and was the absolute emotional leader of that defense. You're getting a captain-level player on day 3. Provides immediate value. Day 1 special teams ace. and core four contributor. That's all four phases of special teams. He's going to play on all four for you, with the chance to eventually carve out a weak side or nickel linebacker role. Think Frankie Louvu from the, I almost said Redskins, Washington Commanders type projection. Motor, instincts, one of those classic overachievers. Love this guy. Bottom line, he's a coach's favorite, tenacious, fast, football smart, ideal day three value for teams needing speed on defense and special teams help. That's what we're looking for, day three guys. These aren't your day one starters, pop off the tape, instant playmaker, week one. These are guys who you fill out the roster with. You got to hit on guys in day three. Chris Greer. There's number one. Number two, Thor Griffith, defensive tackle out of Louisville, right now projected as a 6th or 7th round pick. First off, best name in the draft. Thor, fantastic. But he's more than that. Thor is a Harvard transfer who tested freaky at the pro day. We're talking 33 bench reps at 225, ran sub 5.0 in the 40 at over 300 pounds, a relentless gap shooter with surprising burst and violent hands. He brings immediate value basically because there aren't too many 0 and 1 tech players anymore. He can rotate in as a 3 tech, but mostly a penetrating 1 tech and just cause havoc in the middle. This is a high energy lineman, obviously with some brains, who wins with leverage, twitch, and sheer willpower. He is an ideal rotational piece and a guy who brings energy off the bench. Bottom line, he looked unblockable at times in the Ivy League. And then after transferring to Louisville, he didn't shrink. A classic bet on traits pick with huge upside if developed correctly. So linebacker, interior defensive line, and I got another linebacker. I love rangy linebackers. Defense is all about linebacker play in my mind. So another one that I like, Iowa State, man. They are putting some players into this draft. I don't even know what record they finished with last year. They've got 2 receivers who should go on day 1, day 2, and a linebacker here now in Jaden Higgins. Jaden Higgins, linebacker, Iowa State. Why is he a sleeper? He is a coverage wizard. He led the Power 4 linebackers with a 91.4 grade by PFF in coverage in 2024. Also, according to PFF, wins above average metric called him the most valuable linebacker in college football. You can get the most valuable linebacker in college football in the 5th or 6th round. Pretty incredible value. Maybe a little bit on the smaller side, 6'2", 235 pounds. He's not tiny, bigger than a safety. 80 plus PFF grades in coverage and against the run. He's a steal waiting to happen. Jaden Higgins. Once again, immediate value. He's a 3-down linebacker, can cover tight ends and running backs for teams. He's going to thrive in the nickel package, which is what in today's NFL teams are running anyway. And another guy, day 3 guy, he's going to dominate special teams. Starter upside by year 2, core 4 guy in year 1. And like I said, he's kind of that modern NFL linebacker. He plays the run well enough. He's even better in coverage. So those backs out of the backfield, everybody's talking about Travion Henderson as a guy who's a mismatch against linebackers. Not against Jaden Higgins, he's not. Here's the bottom line. In the past crazy NFL today, linebackers who cover like Higgins are gold. Think Fred Warner on a budget. This guy's a day 3 pick who will outplay his draft slot and make some offensive coordinators' lives miserable. So there's my 3 on the defensive side of the ball. And number 4, I love this, man. This is my guy. I put a little fire emoji in my Word document here. Here's my guy, day 3. Jordan Hancock, cornerback, Ohio State. Not an Ohio State guy by any means, but every time you watch him, and he's playing with, he's not the number 1 corner on the team. He's got probably 2 day 1 guys there, not eligible this year. Plays like a guy with something to prove. You can tell he knows he's not the most elite corner on the team. He's physical. He's instinctive, very technically sound, especially in press coverage. Not the biggest, not the fastest, but he wins with his brain and his feet. Able to diagnose route concepts fast, isn't afraid to mix it up in the run support. What I see is a day one nickel corner who can slide outside in a pinch. Don't really want him out there on the boundary, but he can. He'll be one of those guys that you don't notice on Sundays because he's not getting thrown at. Just he's here, takes this guy away, kind of does his job, kind of under the radar at Ohio State. A lot of big money guys down there at Columbus. He wasn't one of them. He's a guy who's going to get some run on Sundays. Think Desmond King, Iowa, a couple of years ago when he entered the league. Smart, kind of twitchy, built to thrive inside. So again, this is my guy. I'm going to stamp it. Teams looking for gritty slot defenders with high football IQ. Jordan Hancock should be circled, starred, bolded on your board. He's still around on day 3. If your defense needs a cornerback, which I guarantee you do, Jordan Hancock is your guy. All right. So we've gone through, we're 16 minutes in here. I'm doing great time-wise. I told you this is going to be quick. I gave you 4 sleepers on offense, 4 sleepers on defense. So we've covered the sleepers, the guys who will get drafted while you're asleep on the couch Saturday afternoon and end up starting by Thanksgiving. But I know why you folks are here tonight. You saw the episode title. Let's shift to the real game, making money. Folks, it's time for best bets. I was just talking to my wife. I've got some degenerate gambler friends, family members. I get it. Gambling is popular. So I decided I would wade through the chaos of the draft odds so you don't have to, and maybe help you buy that extra TV for your war room. So let's talk about you looking like a genius, specifically to your bookie. Let's dig into the odds boards and try to find some sweet, sweet value before the lines go haywire and Mel Kiper ruins everything. And we're going to start off. I've got 5 best bets. These are, and I should probably qualify this by saying, I don't gamble. Might be the worst gambler in America. The last time I gambled was 2-3 years ago at my bachelor party where I made money betting on the NFL draft. My brother gave me some money. He's one of those degenerate gamblers I was talking about. He said, here's $50, but you got to bet it on something. I said, all right, let's win some cash here, bro. And we did. So you should probably listen to me on these. Went to a couple of different draft sites, and I'm going to start with this one. This is BetMGM. So I don't know. The lines may change. But we've got a plus 250 at BetMGM for Ariante Ursary, the offensive tackle from Minnesota, to be drafted in round 1. I see the viewers going up right now. Let's do it. Why this is a good bet. Ariante Ursary, the offensive tackle from Minnesota, to be drafted in round 1. Plus 250 on BetMGM. Hit it right now. Why it's a good bet. Ursary is the ultimate sleeper in this offensive line class. 6'6", 330 pounds. He is a mountain of a human being with surprising agility. Scored 9.1 on the RAS, the relative athletic score. Ran 1.74 in the 10-yard split. That is flying for a dude who weighs 330. 2024 PFF pass blocking grade of 85.6. 0 sacks allowed on 417 snaps last year. That screams NFL ready. Minnesota ran a pro-style offense. That showcases his ability to dominate in both pass protection and in run blocking. He may be a plug-and-play left tackle you can get at the end of the first round. Teams like the Colts at 14, Rams at 19, might even reach for him if the top tackles are gone. I think Banks is gone by 13, 14. His size and polish are rare for a day 2 prospect, which is why I don't think he falls there. If you go back historically, offensive tackle is a premium position. Tackles don't go really second round. If they're a second round tackle, more often than not, they get bumped up into the first round because if you need a tackle, why wait on him? Somebody else wants him too. Take him in the first round. Can see this guy as a 6'6", 330. He's there at 25, 26, 27. You might want to consider trading that early to mid day 2 up a couple of spots, pick him on day 1, just so you get that 5th-year option and you get, an NFL-ready tackle on your roster. I'm talking about betting, so there's value. The odds are inflated due to his non-SEC pedigree. That's why he's at plus 250. But just watch the tape, man. Measurables rival the first-round locks. The NFL tackles, it's a scarcity issue. That means someone will jump on him early. Bottom line, Ursery's a human bulldozer with ballet dancer feet. Once again, at plus 250, you're betting on a guy who could walk in and start week 1. To me, it's easy money. All right. Bet number 2, going over to FanDuel at plus 180. And again, this is as of tonight, 4/16/2025 at 8:36 p.m. Tyler Booker, the offensive guard from Alabama, will be the first interior offensive lineman to be drafted. Okay. First interior offensive line to be drafted. Offensive lineman to be drafted. That's a big one, but it's a prop bet. Once again, FanDuel, it's at plus 180 right now. Now, guard is not a premium position. I get that. They rarely go in round 1. But Booker's a bit of a unicorn. 6'5", 321, 34.5-inch arms. This guy's a mauler. 0 sacks on 371 pass blocking snaps in 2024. Second team AP All-American. Elite leadership skills. Alabama talks about this guy like they talked about Will Anderson a couple of years ago. This is a leader of men. You're not just drafting a starter. You're drafting a guy to lead the locker room. Football IQ, value commodity in a power run scheme. There are teams that will not absolutely take this guy. The Dolphins being one of them. They're an outside zone. They want to get their guards out and running. He's not that dude. He's going to be a power. He does not work effectively in space. He's not a tackle. I'm not sure if he can snap. He's going to be a guard, just a guard. So you don't talk about position versatility. But teams like the Steelers at 21, the Ravens at 26, who prioritize physicality, could take him late in round 1 to anchor their interior. Once again, day 1 walk in, boom, there's your starter. The plus 180 odds are generous because guards are undervalued in betting markets, but the tape and Alabama pedigree push him into the first round conversation. Bottom line, because of that SEC pedigree, he'll be off the board before the versatile small school guy, Gray Zabel, who is the other one I expect to go round 1, maybe. A little more position versatility. Small school guy, you might see a little higher upside. I just see the Alabama guy with that pedigree going before Zabel before somebody decides to pull the trigger. Once again, at plus 180, you're betting on a guy who'll be a 10-year starter. All right. So I've already made you a whole bunch of money. Plus 250 on Ursery, plus 180 on Booker. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Plus 120, I'm staying at FanDuel. Jalen Walker, edge out of Georgia, to be drafted in the top 10. I'm looking at my board right now. I have him at 12. I'll say this. Why is it a good bet? Jalen Walker at 6'3", 245 pounds, versatile guy. I'm going to make another top 50 board before next Wednesday when we do our final mock draft. And I can tell you that Jalen Walker is going to be in the top 10 by then. Versatile edge rusher with off-ball ability. 8.5 sacks last year, 14 tackles for loss, 92.3 PFF pass rush grade. Woo, that's stellar for an off-ball linebacker. Ability to play multiple roles. Like I said, he can play on the edge. He can play off ball. That explosive first step is what make him a fit for teams in the top 10, like the Jacksonville Jaguars at 5, like the Carolina Panthers at 8, like the Chicago Bears at 10, who love their defensive guys. Plus 120 odds are attractive, as edge rushers are premium picks. So you have a premium selection in the top 10. Once again, 8 of these guys went in round 1 in 2024, and Walker's stock is rising. Value at plus 120, you're getting plus money for a high upside edge rusher in a draft where teams covet pass rush talent. Bottom line, Walker is a 21-year-old defensive Swiss Army knife who will terrorize QBs for 13, 14 years. Okay. We love the younger prospects in the draft, especially that early. That's why guys 24, 25 years old, they're going to fall just because of that age, because you've got 4 years with this guy before he's the same age as some other guy coming in. You get your hands on him for 3-4 years. And again, he's a first round pick. You get that 5th-year option. Edge rusher with those measurables, he's going top 10. Stamp it, man. Write it in stone. Plus 120 for Jalen Walker, the edge out of Georgia, to go top 10. Walk away with some money, man. Help me make you some money. All right, so that's 3. I've got 2 more bets for you. I hope you're not running out of money. I'm back to BetMGM. We're at plus 150 as of right now. Over. We're taking the over. This is a prop bet. Over 4.5 offensive linemen to be drafted in the top 15. So I'm saying there's at least 5 offensive linemen going top 15. The 2024 draft saw 8 offensive linemen in round 1, with 4 in the top 15, driven by, I said it earlier, tackle scarcity. 2025 class is stacked with tackles. Will Campbell, Armin Membu, Kelvin Banks, Josh Connerly, Ariante Ursary, plus you have guards. It just says offensive lineman. Tyler Booker, maybe Gray Zabel slips in up there. You got to look at teams like the Patriots at 4, the Dolphins at 13, the Jets at 7, Colts at 14. All these guys are desperate for offensive line help. And the mocks right now project 5 to 6 linemen in the top 15. So at 4.5, the plus 150 odds are a bargain as the market underestimates the early offensive lineman run. We'll talk about value. Plus 150, you're getting high reward odds for a prop that's hit or at least come close in all the recent drafts going back 10 years. 2025 OL class depth and team needs make this a smart bet. Once again, as we've said on this podcast, and I'm sure you've heard elsewhere, this is a draft that lacks the elite top-end talent, okay? The guy you get in the middle of the first round is about the same quality player you can get in the middle of the second round. So you tend to take players of those premium positions. Tackle is a premium position. I already talked about the guard. Booker's going first round. Zabel's going first round. I don't know if there's any more guards going first round, but you're going to get at least those 2. I think you get Booker and 4 tackles in those top 15. Stamp it. Bottom line, tackles are the NFL's gold standard, and this class is loaded with them. Once again, at plus 150 at BetMGM, I want to make sure I send you to the right place. At plus 150 at BetMGM, you're betting on Campbell, Membu, Banks, and more going early. Really? This is like betting on the trenches, winning every time. We just watched the Philadelphia Eagles dominate with the offensive line and win the Super Bowl. Teams are going to try to do that. Tackle's a premium position. They're going to go early. That's 4 bets. I've made you a ton of money. You're welcome with next month's mortgage payment, but that's not all. I've got one more for you, and this one might be my favorite one. Now, this has the shortest odds, which is why I left it for the end. I try to start out big, and I'll kind of bring it back down to earth. Maybe that's not the way you're supposed to do it, but I don't know. We're going to do this. Plus 110 on FanDuel. Over, another prop bet, over 8.5 SEC players drafted in round 1. This is a good bet, folks. SEC dominates first-round picks. I said over 8.5. There was 15 last year, 13 in 2023. 2025 draft features SEC studs like Jalen Walker, Kelvin Banks, Michael Williams, Armin Membu, Jackson Dart. He's going first round. Plus, likely late round risers like Walter Nolan, Matthew Golden. At plus 110, you're getting plus money for a conference that's a first-round factory. The SEC's track record and this class's talent make the over 8.5 a safe bet with solid returns. Only plus 110. I get it. It's not a swing for the fences thing. It's put some money down, make it, and you can buy me a beer afterward. Okay, you can thank me later. Bottom line, the SEC is the NFL's talent pipeline. We've known this for a while. 15 first-rounders last year, as I mentioned. At plus 110, I've got, and I looked at this, 12 guys ranked in my top 31. At plus 110, over 8.5, that's like betting on the sun rising. All right? Pretty easy money. So we're coming in under time, and I love it. I appreciate you guys. I wanted this week to be quick. Next week, it's going to be so much fun. So there you have it, folks. 5 bets that'll have you snapping necks and cashing checks while the rest of your draft party scrambles. Ursary and Booker are the trench warriors you won't want to fall far. Walker's that wildcat that'll sneak you some extra coin. Head to your favorite sports book and lock these in and make draft night a payday. Folks, that's the final snap for this week's draft podcast. We went deep today. Offensive sleepers like Torrey Horton and Jonas Savaiinaea. Defensive sleepers like Jaden Higgins and Thor Griffith. Love that name. and the best bets that'll have you cashing checks while the draft board burns. Whether you're hyped for those day 3 steals or side-eyeing my prop picks, that's the spark that keeps the draft season lit. Now it's your turn. Are you buying Ariante Irsay as a first rounder? Is Jalen Walker a top 10 lock, or is that a reach? And who's your day 3 gem that I'm sleeping on? Slide in my X mentions at RufusP88 and let's chop it up. Next week, big week. We're dropping the biggest episode of the year. It's our final mock draft special, loaded with special guests, spicy takes, maybe a surprise or two. You won't want to miss it. If you're not already subscribed, fix that. Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your draft nudes. Drop a 5-star review and keep us rolling. That's it for me. I'm Paul Adamczak, and I'll catch you Monday morning on Flagship City Sports Talk at 9 a.m. on 105.9 FM and TalkErie.com. Until then, trust the tape.